Hey, what's up? This is Valentino from Lower D, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
You and the band did something that I didn't expect would happen. I didn't expect a reunion from Lower Definition. I don't know why I didn't expect it, but the fact that it was on April 1st, it also made me wonder if it was really a real deal or just a joke. And I know a lot of people thought the same way.
That was an intentional move on our part because we kind of wanted to like mess with people. And, with the whole thing with Lower D is, we're just wanting to have fun. I think so much time has passed and the world is, such a completely different place these days that when we reunited back in 2018 for the 10-year anniversary show in San Diego. And that kind of got us all talking and on a text thread. And, we were jamming and getting ready for the show and kind of dusting off the cobwebs and kind of realizing like, yo, we should like not force it, but like when new music starts to percolate, let's see what happens with it, And fast forward to 2020, we had been trading ideas back and forth on Dropbox and just kind of like working on music individually and showing each other and sending ideas and kind of like brainstorming. And then as things started to get a little more prepared, we were like, well, we want to release this. We want to release music. We don't really like technically like have an album. I mean, we have more than an album's worth of songs, but there's not an album per se. So we just kind of wanted to jump out there and have fun and kind of see if people would definitely think that we were like going to do an April Fool's joke. And we kind of did like, we posted up this cooking video and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, man, like we're just having fun with it. And I think our fans know that we're kind of like, not jokesters, but like we never really took our band like ourselves like way too seriously. And I think the scene ended up being a lot more serious. And we were just kind of like, yo, dude, we're just trying to play like sick music that we like. That's like heavy and fun and all that. And I think we captured that with Grief Eater. And at the same token, that kind of like tongue in cheek mentality of, hey, you don't know what Lower D is going to do, but we're going to do it to you anyway. You know what I mean? And so we kind of wanted like our fans to question it and kind of be like, are they really back? Like, I thought this was a joke. And it kind of like creates a little bit more of like a fun atmosphere because people weren't expecting it. So to have it is like, I mean, just seeing the comments and the responses were just like so exhilarating for us. People being like, oh my God, I haven't listened to you guys since like high school or college or something like that. And it just felt good, and to really kind of turn around a foolish day of pranks and kind of make some Lower D history. That kind of felt good.
I loved it, man. And the thing that I love the most is that listening to the new single, like I feel, and somebody commented on the video itself, like they didn't miss a step. Like I feel the same way. Like I felt just as nostalgic as I felt before. And like, I feel like it was just like a natural progression. This was supposed to be what was coming up next for Lower D. So
right on.
So talk to me about that and like the fact that you guys got back together and started writing, like you kind of mentioned, like
right.
How different was that vibe? Because you guys have been apart for so long, because you've been focused on other music as well. So like, how different was that vibe?
I feel like I was just so incredibly like inspired by the guys, getting back with them and seeing how creative they can be musically. And for some time now, music kind of took a back seat for a lot of the guys. And, life happens and jobs get in the way and professions and careers and all that kind of stuff. Life happens, And so I think when we got together for the show, it kind of like sparked everybody to be like, yo, this is, wow. Like we remember how much fun this was playing together, how much fun it was to get in a room and write music and to create songs that we feel real passionate about and real excited about. And it kind of it felt like we didn't miss a beat, like Eddie was still coming with these crazy riffs and Mark was coming with these crazy riffs and Matt just his melodies. And it was like opening like a treasure chest with each of them that they had kept with them for a long time, but you know, using their tricks and their skills and their technique really just unleashed it. And I think the music just started flowing, like straight up, just ideas after ideas after ideas. And I didn't expect that, because we were kind of talking about it and we were like, hey guys, like, let's take this slow, you know, like we don't have a label, we don't have necessarily any pressure other than the pressure that we're going to put on ourselves to create awesome music. But other than that, let's do this for us. Let's have fun. Let's not have time frames. Let's get the music perfect and where we want it to be, that shows the appropriate representation of Lower D in the future, you know, in 2020, 2021 and beyond, and do ourselves right by being honest with how we create. Let's not rush things. When Matt feels like the vocals are ready to go, let's record the vocals. You know, when the guitar parts are ready to be recorded, let's record it. When the drums are ready to go, let's do it. You know, like, and in taking it that way, I think we've been able to develop our sound, whereas we're not really like, there's not a single song that we've written so far that's like, oh, this belongs on The Greatest of All Lost Arts, or this belongs on something like that. It's like, it's all fresh, it's all new, it's all written in this era. And it feels good to kind of have those, I guess, seeing it through this like microscope of like, we probably at each point in our lives probably never thought that we would get back in a room and write together, just because of life happening and stuff moving on. I moved away, you know, like we're all kind of in different areas now. And it just kind of seemed like maybe it wouldn't be in the cards. But then when it was, it felt natural, because I mean, personally, like I was in the band with Eddie from 2002 until 2009. So that's a big part of my life and our life that we kind of spent together writing and understanding music and going to concerts and like being like, yo, we love this. Like, let's start our own band. Let's make sick music like they do, you know? And sure enough, you know, almost 20 years later from the inception of the band, here we are writing music again. And it feels just like it did when we were in the garage, you know what I mean? And when we were doing stuff. Now there's studios. Now, like I have my home studio. We all have these methods of being able to record and to write and to be creative. And so we've definitely been utilizing that. And it feels good, man. Like none of us, I think, expected it to go as well as it has. And we're just like, it's a funny thing. We're like, kind of like giddy, like, dude, the band's back. Like, dude, we're making sick jams. This is so fun. And it just feels good. You know, it's like a very like honest happiness feeling where it's like, wow, I don't know that we took it for granted ever before, but like it feels so much better this time around. And it feels so much more like the creativity's there. Everybody knows what they want to say. They know how important the music is. They know how important the fans are. Like we're seeing things through a whole new perspective. And it feels great, really.
Over the years, like the music industry has evolved so much to the point
Sure.
where we don't get to listen to this kind of music or this genre of music as much or as often as we used to. So what kind of impact did you guys feel that had on the band now as you guys are working on new material? And was that kind of a scary subject, or was it kind of scary knowing that there isn't as much music like that today?
Not necessarily, only because we like the music we make. And even if we were the only band to do it, like we would still do it. You know what I mean? For the sake of, that's the kind of music we like. That's what, to us, what Lower D stands for is, you know, it's a little bit more than just a genre, you know, like the post-hardcore and that whole scene, like it was never on the radio. It was never that popular. It never, I did people buy houses off of post-hardcore? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't this, but we knew that. We knew that it was about an underground culture when we would go to concerts in San Diego and there would be 200 people there losing their minds, hardcore dancing and being, you know, straight savages in the audience, and the band is up there rocking out. That is the catharsis right there. And I think our goal has always been to capture that live, but if there's no live, well, then we kind of have to capture that in the music that we write. And I think maybe there's not a Spotify curated playlist that our band could fit on right now that has hundreds of thousands of listeners, but like, we're not doing it for that reason. And so I think for the sake of Lower D releasing music, there doesn't have to be a spotlight on us. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay that not everybody likes it. Like, just wait until we throw in some songs with screaming. People are going to be like, you still scream? And it's like, yeah, dude, we make heavy music. Like, it is what we do. It is the kind of music that we make, and it's not for everybody. And I think our fans really know that it's not for everybody, which is why our fans hold our band in such a special regard, you know, and it's such a, like, like everybody wins when Lower D puts out new music, because we love the music, the audience is going to love the music, and everybody, it's just like this good cathartic feeling of working together and getting to a certain place with the help of our audience, you know, because we just make the music. The audience is who listens to it and goes, oh my God, you guys never missed a beat. And it's like, well, I mean, we kind of did, like, which is crazy, but like, we just kind of just hopped back in the wagon and started going, you know. And we tried not to psych ourselves out or think too much about it, because, well, then you psych yourself out and you second guess everything. We wanted it to just be like, let's just go, let's have fun, let's put out a song, let's see what people are saying, and then let's go record more and keep the momentum going.
I love that you guys are self-producing this new material, because Greatest of All Lost Arts, you guys wanted Chris Crummett to be
that's correct
for that record. So knowing that you could possibly pick and choose, even to this day, pick and choose any producer that you wanted for this new material, new album, why did you guys choose to go the self-production type of route and adding more work to the stuff that you guys are already doing?
Right. I think it's because we hold the project like so close to our hearts that we don't even know, like, what producer produces post-hardcore like nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like back in 2008 when we recorded The Greatest of All Lost Arts, Chris Crummett was like the bee's knees, Portland, like Rise Records, Dance Gavin Dance. Like, you know, he recorded a lot of bands, Drop Dead Gorgeous, a lot of bands that we really liked at the time. And we were like, oh, well, if we want our record to sound anything like our contemporaries who we're listening to right now, we got to go record with Chris Crummett, because he's got the sound down. He works with the band, like, you know, Dance Gavin Dance was and still is a huge influence for us and close friends of ours too. But we didn't know much about recording or doing anything. I mean, that was our first time as adults in a professional recording studio, like professional level. We were like, whoa, this is crazy. How cool are we now? You know, like, we're recording with a real producer with a real mixing, you know, it was just crazy. And now I think because the project is so close to our hearts, unless it was like, you know, I wouldn't say that we wouldn't go record with Chris Crummett, because that'd be cool. But I think we're enjoying the challenges that we're getting to overcome ourselves by recording ourselves and preparing all this music ourselves and making the changes that we want and being able to adjust and adapt the songs as we see fit. Whereas when you go in and you record with a producer, you've carved away X amount of time and you only get that amount of time to record because you're paying that amount of money for blah, blah, blah. And to us, it almost seemed a little counterintuitive to jump into something like that after not having been creative with each other for so long. So it's not off the table, but we're having a good time writing and producing this stuff ourselves, because who better to produce new Lower D than Lower D? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody really understands or knows our sound nowadays, because we have so much influence and we've had so much time to be influenced by the last decade of music, that I think we have matured in a way that our sound has developed, and people will be able to hear that as we release more new music. But at the same time, doing it ourselves allows us complete, like, creative control to be able to change and do stuff. And Matt changes the verses all the time, and, you know, goes back and adjusts this and adjusts that. And because we're doing it ourselves, we can do that seamlessly. And Then my bandmate from Of Mice and Men, Aaron, he mixes and masters the music, and then we put it out because he does all that stuff for Of Mice and Men too. So he just goes in and does his producer sauce and makes it sound like $1 million. It's crazy. And that's technology now. It's all done on laptops and computers and from our bedrooms. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. Now, like, as far as like challenges go, aside from self-producing it yourselves, like, how do you guys feel that you guys challenge yourselves individually with your instruments and with your vocals for this upcoming record?
I mean, the riffs are still blazing fast, which is like a classic Lower D. And I think the guys have been having a lot of fun upping the ante as far as how hard they're riffing. And between Mark and Eddie going back and forth on some of these songs, basically tagging riffs, it's pretty insane, man. Like, because there's no rules, because we're not worried about the radio or we're not worried about anything like that. Like, the drum parts can be psycho. You know what I mean? The guitar parts can be crazy. As long as Matt's melody is just, he's usually coasting up here just super smoothly, you know? As long as he's there, everything else underneath can just be this barrage of crazy noise, which is kind of the fun part of what I think Lower D music is it's just, you can, if you focus on one instrument, like, your mind's going to be blown. You're going to be like, whoa, they were doing that. Like, you take one headphone out and you only listen to the right guitar. And like, I don't know who that is, but I think they switch sometimes. But if you only listen to the right side, you're like, whoa, I never knew that. Then you put in the left ear and you're like, what the heck? He's playing that while he's playing that. I think there's no shortage of challenges in our new music. And that's the fun part, is it doesn't have to be, we don't have to make things simplified or easy to digest. They don't have to be that way for us. We can just be like, yo, here's a fat designer, slice of designer lasagna with all these layers. You're going to eat it because we're going to feed it to you. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, we kind of throw the rule book out the window and challenge ourselves when a new crazy riff comes in, and then I got to write even crazier drums to it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's all about challenging ourselves. And I think that's always what will create the best Lower D music, is having everybody in the band kind of challenge each other with like yo, here's a crazy lick. Can you write something to this? And it's like, yeah, it's going to take me a little bit, but I'll figure it out. What time signature is this in? It changes from 7 to 4 to 6 to 9 back to 4. You know, like, we throw the rule books out the window whenever we write. And I think that keeps things fresh and exciting. And especially since, you know, we haven't been creative together in a really long time, having these kinds of like exciting and challenging riffs and songs really ups the ante for us and makes it more exciting and fun to get stuck in.
From your perspective, how would you say, like, Matt coming back to vocals, like, how would you say that was, that experience was? And did you find yourself discovering that he was also discovering new vocal ranges for himself that he hadn't before?
Absolutely. I think that's one thing that I really noticed was Matt's control in his voice now is like spot on. He really understands his instrument, and not that he didn't before, but I just feel like we were so young in the music industry, and we had been touring for so long, and we had been in a routine of doing things that I think it took time for him to, he learned how to engineer and went to, I think, sound design school for a while. And I think he learned a lot about his instrument and now uses it in a way that is absolutely like, it's perfect from what I remember. You know what I mean? Like, hearing him now on these songs, to me, he sounds more like Matt than Matt sounded on those songs back then. Because I think when we were writing before, we were just kind of like, let's go. We got to get these songs done. We got to get on the road. We're a signed band. You know what I mean? We got to promote. We got to do this. And we didn't focus, and like, the focus wasn't necessarily on crafting these amazing jams. It was like, let's get the album done so we could go out on tour and, you know, get our record out there and get everybody listening to Lower D. And now it's not so much that. It's like, let's craft these amazing songs and really take our time and find the right voicing for it, find the right melody, find the right guitar tones, find the right, does it need screaming? or can it do without screaming? You know, like there's just so much that goes into it. And now, Matt, I feel like having the control that he does and knowing how he wants to use his instrument, it really opens up the playing field now to be able to do all kinds of different music that can still fit underneath the Lower D umbrella, but at the same time, he feels comfortable and confident with his voice and how he's using it to be able to find new harmonies, to be able to use different modal scales when he's singing. And I think that's been something that's really cool listening to the music now is you can hear how much we've grown, you know, like even from his voice, you know what I mean? Like we're all in our 30s now. We're not young 20-year-old bucks out, you know, on the post-hardcore label, you know, like we're singing about, I kind of said it like, it's like, we're on our like kind of grown man shit now, you know, it's kind of crazy. So it really kind of sounds like the band has grown a lot. And at the same time, we're all fans of the music that we make. So it's kind of cool for us all to listen to, and like Matt will send us new ideas of vocal stuff for some of the songs. And we'll just be like, are you serious, dude? This is insane. Like, how did you hear that from how wild the guitars are going? Like, how did you write that melody? And he just hears it, you know, and that's kind of the cool thing is I think now everybody really has had time to buckle down and get down with their instrument really. And I think it shows in the music, you know, it shows in the next level musicianship that everybody is exhibiting on the new material.
You have been playing music, obviously with Mice and Men since. So what kind of impact did you feel like that had on your drumming, being able to go to a different band, perform with a different band, and then come back to Lower D and record music with Lower D?
I don't know that there was too much of a difference, only because I feel like because I've had a lot of experience with producers and stuff and making albums, I think that has definitely helped with my discipline as far as drumming and my approach to writing drums for a certain song, what the song calls for. Does it need crazy drums, or does it need like pretty stock your basic? Does it need rhythm to get the song through, or does it need to have like showmanship? Does there need to be technicality to it? And I think as soon as I heard the guys' riffs and stuff, I was like, oh yeah, we're back, baby. We're back to technical. We're getting down and dirty in the trenches with these songs. And that's fun, you know, like it's fun to look at a different piece of music and think like, okay, I would probably do this here, but what would I do if I didn't know that? Oh, I'll go crazy on the double kick and I'd add all these cymbals. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me meet in the middle between those two and then find a spot. And then I can keep developing the ideas and stuff like that. So I feel like it helped with my discipline. But at the same time, much like the other guys, jumping into Lower D music it's pretty much a full contact sport. So it's like, you know, you got to have your chops. You got to be ready to riff. And I think that's been the fun part is everybody like having fun, getting their chops back and really like getting down and dirty with like how technical stuff can be and what excites us in music, you know, which is kind of like, it's kind of all over the place for us, but I think you could kind of hear that in our music as well.
Now, as far as like new record goes, where are you guys at as far as this? And is this something that fans could maybe expect this year, or something that we can expect?
I'm not sure. I would love to say that an album would come out this year, but we currently don't have anything slated. Again, like I said, like we did the first song drop just to kind of see where everyone's head's at. Like, are we all on the same page that we love Lower D and let's go, and like, can we keep going? And we asked for our fan support. We put up a merch link that is now since self-destructed. And from the funds that we've raised from self-releasing this song, that's going to help fund some more studio time and get us in there to record more music. As far as album goes, not sure. I mean, there's definitely more than an album's worth of demos, but they're just demos. So we have to kind of like, they would absolutely, you know, we're not going to release demos. We're going to polish them up and make them sound amazing. So it's just all kind of going to take time, I guess. And because we don't have a label, because we're kind of doing things DIY, that we want to, you know, perfectly craft these songs and make sure that they're exactly how we want to be represented in, you know, 2021. So fans can definitely expect more new music. As far as an album goes, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but we want to keep being able to deliver music. And so I think for the time being, that's going to be kind of the MO, and to just kind of tell people to throw us on the Spotify, on your Spotify playlist, save the artist, you know what I mean? Turn on notification posts on social media, because, you know, we're back and we want to take this as seriously as we can. And that's going to mean music and doing things online and trying to keep people like involved with us, you know, like kind of show them the process a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're definitely all excited that this
right
is
on,
happening. And it's not an April Fool's joke. So
yeah. No, it's legit. It's legit, guys. We're back.
So definitely looking forward to that. And, you know, congratulations with the success of this song so far, and just being able to come back to basically like the same place you guys were when the last album dropped. So
yeah, man,
I'm very excited.
It's an incredible thing. And, you know, we just got to thank the fans so much. Seriously, is we love making the music, you know, and so for everyone to be just as excited, like it's crazy. We were around before streaming, you know what I mean? Streaming services meant MySpace and Pure Volume. And maybe if we got 100 streams back then, we'd be like, oh my God, you guys, yeah, 150 people listen to our song. Like, so our whole scale is like so askew that, you know, all the love that we've been getting from all corners of the internet and our friends, and just the videos of people driving around listening to the song and stuff like that. Like, we have never experienced love like we're getting right now. And it feels so good. And we just want to thank the fans and thank you and friends and just everybody for sharing this exciting moment with us, because we're just happy to be here. You know, we're happy to be creative and making new music for everybody.
Yeah.
Including ourselves.
Yeah. There you go.
Which is like, we need this too, you know? Exactly. So that's kind of it's going great. And we just want to let everybody know how much we appreciate it, and keep your eyes and ears open.
Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. Now, you made a quick, a good point earlier, how you mentioned nobody's bought a home from post-hardcore, but it made me think about it, because you of Mice just got a gold record for Second and Sebring, which is something that, as you guys kind of mentioned, like doesn't really happen for this music industry. Pretty
incredible.
So for you personally, because you've been here before the social media has been around, before, you know, doing the DIY type stuff, grueling Warped Tour tours and all that stuff, like, what does it mean for you knowing that one of the songs that you were a part of, you know, hit gold?
Man, it's just a humbling feeling, you know. It's something that you never set out, or at least I didn't set out to think about. Being from Chula Vista and San Diego, having a music scene there, like my biggest goal ever was to walk into Best Buy and buy my album, because that's where they sold music by me, was at the Best Buy. So I was like, if I could be in a signed band and a label would put out an album and I could tell my friends to go buy it at Best Buy, I made it, you know. And that happened pretty early on, which was really cool. And then it was just kind of like, after that, I don't know. It's a humbling feeling, really. It's not anything that I ever set out to do. And it really is, it's just a testament to the audience, to music lovers and people that love this alternative music. This isn't for everybody. This song was never played on the radio. It didn't chart on Billboard. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't released to great fanfare, and it wasn't an automatic hit. You know what I mean? It takes time. And I think it just goes to show that this music scene, whether it's metalcore or post-hardcore or whatever, all the little underground factions of everything. The importance is the audience. It's the importance that the band and the music creates with the audience that's listening to it. And I think because when we write music in this genre, it's honest music, you know, it's not necessarily like party jams or it's Friday night, let's go, you know, like it's let's live your best life. Like we're talking about like real life stuff that happens, you know, loss, love, sacrifice, pain, all kinds of stuff, you know. And I think with this kind of music, that's why people listen to it, is it's an outlet and it helps people and it shows the human side to music, you know, because I think people get so much bubblegum cookie cutter stuff all the time that it's exhausting. And this kind of music is not for everybody, but it's special to those people that listen to it. And that's why we love making this kind of music, because, you know, oh, you still scream, you write the breakdowns and this and that. And it's like, well, it's important to us. It's important to me. Like, I wouldn't expect you to get it. You obviously don't like it, so you don't get it, and don't worry about it. Like, so I don't know. It's amazing to be a part of such a great music community of people that love and listen to music and stream artists and buy albums and all that. And I think that it's important to, I guess, give that credit to the fans. You know, they're the ones that this song means so much that, you know, there's been over 500,000 singles sold. That's insane to me. So it to me, it doesn't personally necessarily mean anything that I'm going to change what I do, but it's just, you know, it's amazing to be a part of something that has made that many people, has affected that many people. So it's pretty humbling for sure.
Amazing, dude. Well, congratulations with the success of that as well. And
thank you so much.
I was just realizing, I think you were one of my first interviews when I was transitioning from Punk Videos Rock to this Front Row Live Entertainment. So
oh, wow.
It's kind of cool to be back
Sick.
At full circle with you, kind of bringing back Lower D. So that's
right
awesome.
On, man. Yeah. Hey, happy to be back. Let's get Matt or Eddie on next time, and
please,
maybe you could dig into some lyrics and stuff like that. That'd be awesome.
I would love to.
For sure.
So
yeah, man.
We'll
right on.
Reconnect again, man.
Yeah, sounds good.